Hello and welcome to a Star Citizen podcasty chatty thing from me, BoredGamer, and the lovely Zinnia. Say hello, Zin.
Hello, Zin.
I want to talk about the roadmap and the sort of depreciation of the release view and Cloud Imperium's relatively bad take statement. Unfortunately, I do think it's been blown a little out of proportion because Cloud Imperium clearly didn't mean what they said. I mean, that's my defense is they didn't know what they were saying. So the funny thing is that we'll go to the statement, we'll go to what they actually said and all that stuff in a second. But I said, literally after I read this to Zin, I immediately said, this is going to be the only thing that people remember in this. And everyone's just going to say, I say everyone, there's going to be loads of articles and videos that come out that just say CIG is blaming their community. And do you remember what you said, Zin?
I can't remember exactly what I said. But I can't even remember vaguely what I said, actually.
So Zin said, nah, it'll be all right. They don't really mean that. No one's going to think that. Okay, that's what you said.
I foolishly thought that the majority of people would think as I do.
So I think the majority of people are pretty chill about it. There's at least people that follow Star Citizen regularly. However, it's terribly written. Cloud Imperium should not have said that. And this needs to be talked about at least a bit. So let's talk about what was said. So the very long and short of it is that Cloud Imperium don't want to have a release view beyond one major quarter. So what do I actually mean by that? Well, the next major patch that will be being released each quarter, they want to show what features are going to be on that on the roadmap. And some of those things might not actually appear in that patch, but they're much more likely to. But some of the releases there and features they've got planned there will be still tentative. Yeah, so they're only going to show this one patch because anything beyond that is too erratic whether those features are actually going to be in the patches beyond that. They can't go for sure or even, we reckon that this patch is going to have these features. And because those features change so much, and some people saw those as promises or expectations, Cloud Imperium have gone, no, we don't want people to keep on saying that we're promising stuff that we're not. This stuff is always going to change around. These are just sort of targets. So they want to then focus on the progress tracker, which is the sort of roadmap. It's not really a roadmap, but it shows what all the sort of teams are working on. They might expand that out to be a really useful resource. I mean, it's cool already, but there needs to be a load more context and information added there. So that's the basics of what's changed on the roadmap. Now, as a content creator, I don't like that. I want to know what Cloud Imperium's plans are, and I want to know what they're focused on, what they're targeted on working. Even if they don't make it, I think it's a useful resource to say, look, why haven't you made that? Explain what's going on here. What have you prioritized over this? Yeah, because otherwise they're just giving us less, and they're less accountable, effectively, to each individual feature. Do you think that's a fair statement, Zin? Do you think?
No, I think that's a fair statement. I agree. I think I'd like to know, even if they're not I completely understand if they're not going to make things in actually in time for the patch, or it has to be moved, or they're going to scrap it because it doesn't quite work as it does. But I am interested to know what they're prospecting, what they're hoping to get done.
Yeah, targets and expectations.
What they're actually sort of working on. Because it's great to see the progress tracker and go, this has got this much time stamped for it. But you see a lot of things on there that it'll go past that date, but we still won't see it in game.
Yeah, so especially with the progress tracker, there's a lack of context to what an individual set of work means. It might say, this will enable this to happen.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually mean that. It might have two teams working on a particular portion of that work, and then we don't have context to when this work is done that's shown on the progress tracker. What does that actually mean? Is there another 8 stages of work that need to be done? Is it completed? Is it then going to be phased into Squadron 42 and then put in the PU? How much work is that? There's a load of missing context and missing pieces from that progress tracker that we sort of need if they are going to get rid of a lot of the release view. So the issue isn't really with that, though. Okay, so the thing that is currently the community drama or the wider Star Citizen drama, because there's always something, is some of the statement that Cloud Imperium made. So when explaining why they were going to focus on the progress tracker and move away from a further out release view, they said, "It has become abundantly clear to us that despite our best efforts to communicate the fluidity of development and how features marked as tentative would sincerely not be relied upon, the general focus of many of our passionate players has continued to lead them to interpret anything on the release view as a promise. We want to acknowledge not all of you saw it this way. Many took our new focus and our words to heart and understood exactly what we were trying to convey. But there still remains a very large contingent of roadmap watchers who see the projections as promises, and their continued noise every time we shift deliverables has become a distraction both internally at Cloud Imperium and within our community, as well as to prospective Star Citizen fans watching from the sidelines at our open development communications." That very much reads like some of you are criticizing us, and we don't like that. It's distracting us. It destroys morale. Also, it scares away other backers. We're going to give you less. We're not going to show you this now because we can't take the criticism. And also, it's some of your fault. Not all of your fault. Some of you understood, but not all of you. And now, that's very much me taking it to the most extreme that statement could be taken. But let's still man it, okay? Let's assume that statement is actually at least partly true. Some people in the community are causing a lot of noise on forums, on Spectrum, on Reddit, going, promises, Star Citizen, bad, yeah? Why is that necessarily a terrible thing? Cloud Imperium should be able to take the criticism and suck it up and move on. And as a community, as a Star Citizen community, you've got to understand there's going to be extreme polarised, or not even necessarily polarised positions. It's lots of different points of view that aren't necessarily yours. And as long as people are doing those relatively civilly, I think you should welcome the criticism, welcome different people's points of view, and go, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, and we're going to keep on doing it. We are going to listen to some of you, we're going to listen to what the community is saying, but we're not going to let it destroy our morale. Is that unfair?
I agree with what you just said, with the listen to it, just don't let it destroy your morale. Like, there was no reason, in my mind, for Cloud Imperium to even have acknowledged that these people have said any of this stuff. What? Because, I get what you're saying about people have different opinions, but it's not an opinion when, if something is on the roadmap, doesn't mean it's going to be in the game, is fact. Yeah? There's no opinions about that.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Right? And that's what Cloud Imperium were having a problem with. They were having a problem with the fact that people were still thinking that stuff on the roadmap was guaranteed or should be guaranteed. In that case, you just keep saying to them, that's not how it works, and then move on.
Yeah, I suppose if those people aren't listening, or those people are just using it as a sword against you, you're going to go, well, they're always going to find something.
Yeah, and so, I can probably see a lot of these people are probably haters, for lack of a better term.
No, I'd say I want to move away from that term haters. Obviously, some people just like to watch things burn.
They're people who don't really believe in the project
and thrive on chaos. Yeah. But they're still part of the community. Those people that hate Star Citizen, that will never play it, they're still part of the Star Citizen community. And also, I think it's important not to just label people as you're a detractor, you're a hater, bam, move on. I'm very much sort of like, okay, well, explain your position. If it's ridiculous, then at least I know it's ridiculous. So I'm sort of, everyone be friendly and civil, and the people that aren't being that way, then you can go, well, I'm going to ignore your opinion. Carry on.
Just quickly, I was going to say, I don't believe in silencing people. So I don't think that if anybody is coming along and saying, oh, you said we would have this and we haven't got this, why? Like, they shouldn't have their messages deleted or be banned from anything, you know. That's not the way to go about it. Like, if you want to acknowledge it, acknowledge it. But what you've just done is, to me, akin to throwing your toys out the pram.
So a lot of the messages I get and stuff are about very, very aggressive moderation. Like, all these things are being wiped out, they're deleting all these messages. Now, that might happen, okay? That may happen in some situations. But there is a difference between that form of moderation, which is very censorious, and moderation of, actually, this is just against our rules. There is a thread for this sort of feedback. Go there. Actually, you've been swearing and you've been very rude. So that's not actually technically allowed either. So there is a difference between applying the rules, although they may not be applied evenly and equally in all situations, which is unfair, but it is what it is, and something that is more censorious. Now, I'm not saying that mods on Reddit or Spectrum or whatever aren't censorious. I'm just saying that a lot of the stuff I've seen where people have gone, oh my god, look at what they're doing, are going, no, they're actually just applying the rules in this situation. Communicate. I want Cloud Imperium to communicate more.
I don't see anything wrong with ignoring people who can't interpret things properly. Even if you keep going at them saying this is how it works, and it's like no, that's not how it works. It's like, okay, whatever.
I would say that content creators, I will speak only for myself here because I do not want to hurt anyone else or insult them. We have at least a small amount of blame for hyping certain things. I'm very excited about some things. I misspeak sometimes. I've expected Squadron 42 to release every year since 2016, or at least hoped that. And when I talk about roadmap updates, I will say these are the plans currently for this patch. I will clearly say at least twice during the video, stuff moves around, it often does, but these are the targets and the plans, this is what we can expect. Now, maybe just the term expectation was a bit too strong there. So I'm gonna say that there is certainly a part of this that is my fault, and as a content creator, I should probably be a bit more, explain it better, more blunt about stuff like that, and go, look, there's no way you can misconstrue this. So I do think that maybe I should be a bit more clear about that sort of stuff. So I watched a few other videos and read some articles around. There are not as many articles or videos as I expected. So from that point of view, Zin, you were right. It's not as a big deal as I expected it to have been. And I do think some people are rightly angry at CIG for making that statement, which was effectively disrespectful. All they needed to do was look at the statement that they made. Someone just go, whoa. What's this? People are not going to take this well. This little bit. Remove that. Because the actual delays and the actual changes to the roadmap, they've taken a back seat now to that. But yeah, I think CIG can easily fix this. They can apologise for the bad take. Go, we genuinely didn't mean it like that. It reads really badly because we were careless and reckless in what we typed. I mean, they could rethink about how they're going to do the roadmap. But actually, if they just go full progress tracker and they give us a load more context on what the team's working on, make sure it's accurate, tell us what an individual feature sort of set, what it means when it's completed, then yeah, I actually don't think it's an awful idea. I would like to see targets throughout the year. I do think that's important, because otherwise we're not really having a roadmap. We're having what's really close to us. It's like a gas station. The only thing we've got on the roadmap is something else on the motorway, and it's just a straight line of, yeah, gas station here. And then we've got the progress tracker that just says, yeah, there's loads of stuff to see within America. Where are we in America? I don't know. Somewhere? Gas station. Go to the gas station. But yeah, Cloud Imperium should be embracing criticism. I think what it is that it felt to me like Cloud Imperium was saying that the noise created is detrimental to the game. It might be, but it's a rod that you've made for your own back. You're having open development. People are going to criticize you, and you can't let that hold you back. You've got to use it to propel yourself forward. Make sure that you try and make some targets and dates and be more realistic with the roadmaps. And they could say there's loads of maybes that we want to get throughout the year. The
thing is, I get what you're saying there, but I liked what they had previously. I didn't see any problem with it.
Me too.
I'm actually surprised that a game that has no release date has people who are interested in it and then getting annoyed because stuff gets moved around on the roadmap. Like, what do you expect?
It's because it's got moved around so much. So more specifically, people see a lot of stuff like it's always next year. So salvage is always next year. Server meshing's always next year. And that's infuriating, because you're like, okay, tell us why, and don't say it's going to be next year or imply it's going to be next year. Now, they're being a bit more ephemeral and ethereal with a lot of the way they think. Like, well, this year, okay, it's been described as the road to Pyro. What does that mean? Yeah? What does that mean? It's vague enough. They could say, yeah, Pyro's almost finished by the end of the year. But it could also mean that we're at Pyro at the end of the year. I'm hoping that it's Pyro at the end of the year. That's my expectation. But also, now, I'm going to be like a roadmap mancer. My job, is going to be to throw bones up in the air and go, What features have we got this week? Oh, on the roadmap tracker, it says we've got this. I think this. It's just going to be more speculation.
The roadmap did make it a little bit easier to try and
interpret?
Work out. Yes, to interpret. And it's going to keep thinking like, if they're going to change this, then what they should do is they should like put some sort of estimated date on the progress tracker. But then that's just a roadmap, then, isn't it?
and it's a roadmap. It's just a bit annoying. That's all. Like I genuinely trust Cloud Imperium to make a good game. Okay, I like that they. I mean, I would not have done it the way they did, but I like the fact they've got a live product that you can play now and it gets better every quarter and there is genuinely huge progress. Like, the game's changed in scope massively at least twice, especially with the sort of like going first person running around on planets. Yeah, that was a big thing that Star Citizen wasn't originally going to have. And then they went, we've made it work. What have you made work? This. What, isn't that going to come out after release or something? No. Now we're going to increase the sort of development of the game by a few years to add it. Well, it's like, oh, actually, that's pretty cool. And you've got a live product now. I mean, it's a live development product, but it's very playable. If people could describe it as a tech demo or something like that, it's a very fun tech demo that I enjoy playing very regularly.
What I have got going through my head is they are on the other end of the spectrum in game development in comparison to like AAA games.
Yeah.
And I'm going to probably very badly use Assassin's Creed as an example because this annoyed me recently because I played Assassin's Creed when it came out, the first one back in the day, and I absolutely loved it. Amazing game, yeah? You may play it again now and go, it's not that good, but that's because they've iterated on it and made it better. Then I played Assassin's Creed 2. I'm fairly certain I pre-ordered Assassin's Creed 2 because I've got an Ezio figurine downstairs that came with the pre-order. And that game was even better. And then they had Brotherhood and Revelations, and it was just great, yeah? And then I played Assassin's Creed 3, and it was buggy and horrible, and I couldn't get into it. So I stopped playing Assassin's Creed. So this is unfortunately where my experience kind of ends. But from what I've been reading recently, because I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should try and get back into the series, you know? From what I've been reading recently is they have gutted that game. From the original concept that they had of being an assassin, sneaky, all your fancy parkour stuff and things like that, it's now just turned into an RPG with hardly any ongoing storyline to it. And that's one of the things that I loved about Assassin's Creed was the modern day Desmond storyline. Because they've been chasing money rather than a dream, rather than the original, because I found out like the guy who started the story, it doesn't work there. He hasn't worked there for many games now. So you're not going to have the same story that you were following. You're not going to have that passion that he had. And then you've got Star Citizen, which is helmed by a guy who wants to, like, say what you will about him, but he wants to create this game and he will try his hardest to try and create this game. You may think it won't work and it might not work, you know, but he's trying.
He's got a lot of lieutenants and generals, which will keep him honest with it, though. Star Citizen's development is very, very slow burn. Chris Roberts is a visionary, which doesn't necessarily mean he's great at management, but he has people that are. I love the game. I love the devs. I genuinely trust them to be able to make a good game. You might go, you're mad because of that. But I also find it interesting you say that. One of the reasons I love Star Citizen as a project is because I remember Green Commander and I like Chris Roberts at the helm. I think that one of the things that people say that probably don't like Star Citizen and are like, oh my god, make a game, probably very much dislike Chris Roberts and see that he's the main problem. So it's very interesting that you made that point. You're right, it is at the other end of the spectrum with AAA games. And I'm hoping that Squadron 42 is a genuinely great game and that Star Citizen as an MMO will be better than the EVE 2.0 that I'd assumed it was going to be when I first started looking into it in 2014? 2015? I can't remember when I started with Star Citizen. It was a while ago.
Long time ago.
A long time ago. I have Star Citizen status in the community just because I'm an antique now. which is nice. It's like, I remember when we only had a hangar module, kids. You could only see 3 ships in there. You know, you kids today with your ships that come out when they say they're going to come out. Don't know where I'm going with that analogy either. I've gone a bit mad.
Are the hangars even working at the moment?
Oh, I don't know. Who knows what's working?
I mean, who even actually looks at their hangars anymore? Everybody just goes into game now because there's actually a game to play.
That is true. So they've come pretty far. The problem is they got so much further to go. Yeah. Now, a lot of the community are aware of that. A lot of people actually want that. The thing is that you communicate with everyone. Everyone has a bit of a talk. You don't shut down the conversations as long as they're reasonable and not against your policies. And everyone gets a better game from it. And at least you're part of the open development. The reason I like the project is because it is an open development that the backers and the players can talk about and influence the way that Cloud Imperium do things. But that statement they made is literally opposing that thought process. It may be true to some extent. It may be true, but even if it is true, Cloud Imperium should go, we're going to get criticism. It's open development. We'll deal with it.
I am disappointed they're going to do what they have or that are going to be doing with the roadmap.
They might not. They might change their mind. They can change their mind.
Oh, they might do.
And after 3.18, well, only one patch out, and then I'll just be reading the bones. What have you been eating tonight? I've been having KFC because then I need to do my roadmap video. Throw the bones. Oh, anyway, that's mine and Zin's view on it.
Thank you for letting me go off about Assassin's Creed.
No, it's okay. I mean, you were talking about wanting to play it yesterday. Thank you very much for listening to our rant. Feel free to engage in the comments and talk to each other as long as you're going to be civil. It's all good. You're allowed your opinion, whatever it is. If you want CIG to do something one way or another way, or someone doesn't agree with you, or you think that some people are being noisy or not, or whatever, you're allowed to talk about it. It's fine. It's all good. I think it's reasonable. And we should welcome criticism and people's different ideas, and I think that's important. If someone has a ridiculous idea, a ridiculous point of view, you'll be able to identify it by them talking about it rather than shutting it down. That's my open letter to Cloud Imperium. Accept criticism, give us more, not less. Give us your targets, and when you don't meet them, it's okay. We're big boys and girls. We can deal with it, and just make sure you communicate why you didn't make them. We want to be able to hold you accountable to some degree. Anyway, say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
Thanks very much for watching, guys. Appreciate it. And as I said, jump into the comments below and get involved in the conversation.
Mummy, my friend told me at school today that Star Citizen was a scam. Oh, Tim, is that why you got into a fight? Yes, Mummy. The only scam is people stealing all your internet infos and blocking your ability to watch things on Netflix and such with regional-based access. That's why we use our words, Tim. You should have told those bullies to get NordVPN, and also that Star Citizen is the best damn space sim ever.
Yes, these two people are right. Get NordVPN, and also Star Citizen's great. Also, Timmy was a 35-year-old teacher at the school. And it wasn't even a school, it was a pub, and he was a barman. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and for February 2022, it's for an Aegis Saber, the high-tech medium fighter with loads of firepower, but it comes in an auspicious red paint scheme as part of the Red Festival, as well as lifetime insurance and a Star Citizen game package. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning is comment on any of my videos made during the month. You can further support the channel by clicking the join button underneath any of my videos. You can also donate or become a Patreon. Your feedback, though, from comments really helps the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, if you're looking for a diegetic little controlly boy that makes your Star Citizen experience and potentially some other games pretty good fun on your touchscreen devices, then check out Game Glass. You've got that, you've got NordVPN links, you've got loads of other stuff. All in the links below. Click them all. Click them all. Maybe not all of them. That would be madness.